What's going on, guys? I just wanted to answer a quick question. One of you guys, I believe it's Paulie, you got a question in regards to bunch, and I'm reading it now, and he says there's a play from bunch where they call flood, and all they do is streak someone from the bunch side, and he is all alone for a touchdown against cover 4 match. Okay, so I just read it again, so now I gotta go back into the game and pick that exact play to show you. But you'll see the concept here. So I call cover 4 match, and when this happened, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Right? I called cover 4 match. I know what's supposed to happen on this bunch side. Okay. That 3 rec is supposed to take the first inside route from the bunch, and you can see he just drifts off. Everyone is drifting. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh, I forgot to turn on match, right? So match is very important. You got to turn match on, and you'll see the drastic difference in how they play. That was organic too. I didn't, plan to do that. But it's good to see the difference between playing match as opposed to not playing match. So again, cover 4, and watch how that 3 rec pins on that first underneath inside route. The flat pattern gets taken by our quarter flat. So we can take a look at each one. Let's take a look at our number 1 from the bunch. Comes in on that sit down pattern, and we have that out leverage with the 3 rec. I don't like the technique there, right? Flat is taken care of by the quarter flat, and then that deep corner route is bracketed by both our safety and corner, because the safety is taken first inside, corner is taken first deep outside, and there's only one deep route, so they're able to bracket that particular route. And most notably, our backside safety is really playing post control if you leave them alone. Okay, so here I'm going to go to palms, and now I'm going to select a play that will get into, oh, there it is right there. I should have picked gun bunch flood, so I got to go back and pick that. I think I went to gun verticals. You'll see one of the problems with match against this. Watch how that window right there is open. Okay, the computer obviously made a terrible decision there, at least with the throw and the timing of the throw. But you can see, look at number 1 on the outside. He goes outside, and it forces our quarter flat player to have to take that route because he's responsible for the first underneath to the outside. And that leaves that number 3 tucked in from the bunch, wide open in the seam right there, because our front side safety has to take the deep over route. Okay, so that's something that a lot of people will run when they see that you're playing cover 4 match. Okay, so cover 4 match has its place against bunch, but again, it has its problems. So then I went and got the other controller so we can imitate a similar problem to what you were asking about. So I should pick, this is where I went to change the controllers. Okay, so we'll speed past that. I'll go cover 4, and then we'll pick a play from the offensive side. I believe I went with, really don't remember. I think I went Z spot and go. And I mean, this is the first time I did this. Theoretically, what we can do is, the problem with match, so as you see here, we match the routes there, which is good. The problem with cover 4 match against bunch is you really don't have a lot of options when they send 3 deep. So I was like, you know what, let's just send him on the go, that number 3, and watch what happens. Completely breaks the coverage, right? So I think the concept is the same in regards to what you were getting to when people call bunch flood. Okay, so our front side safety pins down on that Z spot and go because he knows he has the first deep inside. It's just programmed for that way. The corner takes the first deep to the outside, and that leaves that streaking player all alone up the field. And again, that backside safety, there's nothing organic about the game. He's really playing post control. It doesn't matter that someone's running free up the seam on that side. He's not going to match it. So one way you can deal with that is to play cover 9. And what cover 9 does is it actually converts to where we play 5 defenders over the bunch. See, in match, when you call cover 4, it's really 4 on 3. These 4 players are boxing these 3 players. I take the first inside underneath. I take the first outside underneath. I take the first deep inside and I take the first deep outside. Okay, but there's a problem there when you think about it. There's two players taking deep routes. What if there's three deep routes? And that's where you can get into problems in the game where players aren't calling real life concepts from bunch. They're sending three deep like right away from the bunch side, right? And that's where the game kind of lags out and etc. Well, that's where cover 9 is probably better. Not even probably, it's more efficient in dealing with that. In cover 9, what we're doing is we are stealing the backside safety and using him to help on the front side of the coverage. So this is where we get into, there's a cover 4 variant called steal coverage. And to me, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, in steal coverage, you're manning up the backside with the weak side linebacker and the corner. They're man-to-man on their men. And we're obviously pre-snap, the safety aligns on that side and gives the illusion that he's playing on this side. But in actuality, he's going to poach over to the strong side and take a first deep inside crosser from the bunch. What that does is it allows the safety on that side to not be forced to take a first deep inside crossing across the field so he can play over the top. And on top of that, your underneath player, your second defender in, is able to match certain routes when we get a lot of verticals up the field. So what I do is I pick this play, cover 9, and I user the corner who's in cloud flat, and we can play a lot of concepts a lot better against three vertical patterns. So watch the difference. We're going to do the same exact thing, same play. I'm going to send that guy who's in a flat up the field, and now there's no busted coverage. And again, it's because that backside safety now is really responsible for someone crossing over from the bunch, and the safety is allowed to cap the bunch and stay over the top, and it's deep half responsibility. Now, what I didn't do in that play, I didn't user the cloud flat player, so you would be on this player over here, and you can squeeze on the bunch and take a route deep into the outside. Now, again, there are weaknesses. There's weaknesses to every coverage, right? Yeah, I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect defense good against everything, right? So you got to kind of see what your opponent is doing and adjust. If he's running three routes vertical up the field from this formation, well then, play a lot more cloud. If he's running stuff where, now this is, in my comment, I stated to you, you could move that front side safety, as you see there, a little bit further to the outside, which gives the illusion that the deep middle of the field is open for attack. But that's really a trap where you're hoping that backside safety plays very well on a crossing pattern up the middle of the field. Okay, so yeah, cover 9 cloud is something you can play against a player who's but here's the problem. If they run real life concepts, as you see there, where they keep the corner in the flat. So I went back to show it. You as a cloud flat, you're going to get high load, right? And that's how you attack a cloud flat corner, with a deep half safety over the top, right? A corner and a flat. The safety doesn't really have the angle to defend that corner pattern. So, a really good route combination against that is what we see here, a flat and a corner. But if you're playing against a guy who's doing that, clunky sending 3 deep, well, you don't have to worry about that. They're not attacking the weakness of this, right? So you're the cloud flat corner. I squeeze the formation and I take that first deep outside underneath, knowing I have help over the top, and we could put a stop to people utilizing 3 verts from the bunch side. Now the weakness of this is your backside corner and your backside, your weak side linebacker is one-on-one, right? So that's a weakness of the play as well. But again, knowing your weaknesses can be a strength.